Okay, here I have a quick unboxing and my first thoughts of the new Canon C100 Mark II. I just ordered this bundle package directly from B&H, and it comes with a Magic Arm, Ninja 2 external recorder screen, and a SanDisk SSD drive. It also comes with the Atomos small coiled HDMI and the HDMI connection too. It's Extreme Pro. I will say the box is pretty big. The box is so well organized that if you actually take things out, it'd be very hard to put everything back in. These are all the accessories, from the handle to the eyepiece to the strap and the actual battery and the battery charger. And here's the camera itself. So this is the first time I've ever held any of the C series. And I will say it feels pretty nice, and I wasn't overly excited about actually getting this camera initially. It was something for me that I thought was a functional tool, and I felt like for that purpose alone, especially for doing a lot of run and gun shooting, I thought it was a necessity. So after holding it and actually using it for a few days, I actually come to really enjoy it and really like it. These are all the different accessories I was speaking of earlier. The charging block here is really big for some reason. But there's that, and this is the actual handle with the microphone, XLR inputs. Now what you'll notice is the actual hole that actually holds the microphones. Most shotgun microphones like the NTG series by Rode, they actually don't fit. You have to get some kind of rubber O gaskets to make it actually stay inside. Some people said that that handle is a little loose, so as I'm tightening it, you just have to tighten it as much as you can, and it pretty much takes a lot of that away. Here's the Ninja 2 recorder. This was packaged really nice as well, and I'll go through that contents in a little later, and you can see how this has changed from the original C100 series, from certain button placements and the flip out screen, and also the eyepiece is different from the original C300 series. The camera on and off switch and the media switch, it does feel a little flimsy and plastic. The body itself feels nice. It's lightweight, but it's not too light, but it does feel a little plastic as well. And I don't believe there's any sort of weather sealing on this camera, which I wish it did have. It does have an internal mic for scratch audio built directly into the camera with dual card slots here. And the battery, the only thing that I will say about the scratch audio, even on low settings, it seems you can't tell that the audio is popping. But if you ever play it on some actual speakers, you'll notice that it does. The OLED screen is actually really nice. The play button, stop button, it's a little weird because I haven't read the manual. I'm just kind of using it and figuring it out. Some of the stuff, because it's so user friendly, there's times where I wish I could do everything with one hand, and I realize maybe you can, but the way that I know the camera as of now, I tend to have to use both hands at times, where if I'm running gunning for whatever it is, I prefer to just do things on one side without having to move my hand position if I'm manually focusing or whatever the situation is. I did go ahead and pick up a 18 to 135 STM lens for the facial tracking. Even though it is a variable aperture lens, it is actually pretty decent, and I'll end up showing some sample footage of that later, or do a separate review and compare it to the silent autofocusing of maybe a 50 STM and also a 24 to 105 style L lens. And here's the XLR inputs. And here's the connection cable that goes directly into the camera. I tend to find myself not using this unless I need it for an interview or something like that, which I haven't needed to use it yet. So I tend to carry the body with just the hand grip and just the eyepiece, and without the actual suction cup eyepiece part. And this is the Magic Arm that comes with it. These come in different brands and different flavors, and this particular one is a brand I'm not really too familiar with, but it's pretty nice because as you turn this, it actually has grooves, so it locks and clicks in certain movements, so it's pretty nice. This is just me opening the Atomos HDMI cable. It's nice. It's actually because based on where the input and output of the HDMI of the Atomos recorder is, I have to stretch the cord out, because the only way that it would work easily with this length, you'd actually have to flip the screen around. And if I'm viewing it for myself for any reason, it doesn't work too well to stretch the cable out to make it work. And here's the Atomos recorder, and I will say this is packed really nice as well. So nice that if you take it out of the box, it's pretty hard to put everything back exactly because it's a very snug fit. Comes with a battery adapter, comes with a charger, And these little shells on that you see on the left, it looks like an iPod case or something. That's where you put your SSD drives in. You just mount it and screw it inside just like any other SSD. And then you have these adapters where you can mount either a Nikon or a Canon battery instead of this big Sony battery. The Sony battery appears to be an off-brand, but it seems to be working decent. I have some of these batteries sitting around for some LED lights, and I will say that they tend to discharge on their own. I haven't discovered that yet, and it comes with a nice cradle to charge. And here's a screen by itself, and you can see the inputs, the outputs for the HDMI and the headphone input and output. Take 2 battery slots in the back. You can use one at a time if you like, or you can put 2 in. And then the SSD drives, once you slide it in, I did find it a little hard to remove it. I don't know if there's an eject button. Maybe I'm just missing something here. But that round button is the power button, and the other buttons on the side are to help eject the actual batteries. And you have the quarter 20s on the top and the bottom. And it comes with a 3.0 USB cradle so you can put your SSD drive and read the information to a computer or transfer your data. And these are these adapters I was mentioning. I will say ease of use. I really am enjoying this camera. The picture quality alone is decent. All the shortcomings of the camera are being overshadowed by all the great ergonomics of the camera, and I'm really enjoying that. If you are some type of event shooter, or maybe just a commercial shooter, or somebody who just requires a lot of run and gun and everything in one place, I really suggest this camera. I used to start off with DSLRs a long time ago to some mirrorless cameras, GH4, and also I have quite a few Blackmagic cameras. And I will say that with all those pieces of equipment, you need just as much more equipment or money invested to get it working right out of the box. The C100, besides the lens, besides getting an external microphone, everything is right there in a compact solution. And it has ND filters, which are great. They are manual, so you can actually see them moving as you turn the knob. It's not electronic like I believe the C300 or 300 Mark II series. But I will say I really do enjoy this. The only thing I wish might have been a little different, I wish it was weather sealed, just because I know I've been in situations where I've needed that. But other than that, the ergonomics are great. It feels great. If I was to compare this to a photography camera, it sort of reminds me of a medium format. The style of it, the way it looks, the handle, the grip, it just kind of reminds me of that look and feel. I hope this helps somebody in making a decision. I haven't needed to use the Ninja 2. I've tried it, but I will say this, right out of the camera, you won't notice hardly any difference. And this is even recording all different flavors of ProRes. Maybe you as a videographer or photographer or media person will notice it, but a normal person won't notice any difference. You really notice it if you push the grade or the white balance or your exposure levels really hard. You'll notice that one may fall apart fast. If you're doing a lot of in and out the camera type of work with very light grading or just moderate grading, you'll be fine in even MP4. If this was helpful at all, please hit like or subscribe. For more information, visit www.howtoandreviews.com. Till next time.